Yo, what is going on, guys? Dave here. Welcome back to the channel, and I hope everyone is having a fantastic day today. As you guys can already tell, I'm playing in a Mountain Dew tournament with a couple of my subscribers, just having fun. But anyway, as some of you guys know, I love to post story time videos. I love talking about what happened to me when I was a child. I love talking about incidents that happened. I love talking about just anything that really had an impact on my life when I was younger or happened a couple months ago. That really doesn't matter. Just, you know, something to talk about. I love memories and I love stories. So today I got a very kind of a personal story to tell you guys. It's not really personal, but I take it personal because it really kind of made me insecure in a way, and I used to hide it from a lot of people, and people used to ask and I didn't want to tell them. Get that crap out of here. If you're watching this, how many of you guys broken any bones in your body? If so, raise your hand. How many bones did you break? How many sprains did you guys ever have? Any nasty cuts on your body? How about spraining all 10 fingers and spraining both of your ankles? How about breaking your wrist twice, your elbow once, and your finger once? Or how about almost cutting your finger off, busting your head open, and falling through a glass table? Now I know a lot of you are like, who the heck goes through all that kind of stuff in one lifetime? Well, guys, I'm the first to tell you, all that stuff I just named happened to me. When I was about 5 or 6, I did fall through a glass table. Me and my sister was jumping on my grandmother's sofa, and I don't know what happened. I don't even remember. All I know is me falling through the glass table, and my mom picking me up, and I was covered in blood. I had glass all over my body. I do remember some of that stuff. She wrapped me up in a big blanket because I was like bleeding out. I don't know what the heck, dude, it was crazy. So she wrapped me up in a blanket and she rushed me to the hospital. Turns out, obviously, I was okay. I just had a little bit of cuts here and there. And yeah, I did fall through a glass table. Now, the first time I ever broke my wrist. Okay, so I think it was like a year later. I was 6 years old, 6 or 7, and we went to the park, and all the kids are playing on the monkey bars. You know the little monkey bars you hang from and you go from bar to bar. I'm on the monkey bars, and kids are like jumping to the 4th bar, and I'm like, hey, I want to do that. So I decide to jump to the 4th bar. I made it. So the kids are showing off. They start jumping to the 5th bar. So I'm like, okay, you guys want to jump to the 5th bar? I'm gonna jump to the 6th bar. So I try to jump to the 6th bar. Turns out I jump to the bar and I slip off of it. As I'm falling, I'm trying to prevent myself from hitting the floor hard. So I put my right hand out, and before you know it, I land on my wrist and it breaks. Both of my bones cracked. When I looked at my wrist, it was all deformed looking, and it didn't hurt at all. I didn't feel it. I just knew that my hand was numb, so I looked at it and it was all ugly looking. So I went to go show my mom. She started to scream and panic, so then I started to panic, and I went to the hospital. I didn't need any surgery. They just put me under anesthesia, and they like snapped my bone back in place, and then they gave me a huge cast all the way up to my shoulder for I think 2 months. It was just, I remember all of that stuff, man. I swear all my accidents happened at the park. So how I sprained all my fingers, I mean, it's not really much to it. You know, I sprained not all at the same time, not all at once. Like, let's just say January I sprained my thumb, and then February I sprained my finger, then June I sprained my middle finger, and then so on and so forth. But yeah, over a period of time, I did sprain all of my fingers. Now on to how I sprained my ankle the first time. So fast forward a little bit, me and my buddies are playing basketball in the winter time, and I go up for a dunk. So I push off the ground hard as heck, and I slip on ice. I tweak my ankle, and I heard something crack. Honestly, I thought I broke something at first, but I didn't. My ankle got so swollen, like it was just instantly. It swelled up, and I went straight home. I didn't even tell them what happened. I just walked off because I already knew something was wrong. And I got home and my ankle was throbbing. I took my shoe off and it was just swollen, dude. Like a week later, my whole entire ankle was purple. And this happened about 2 or 3 times, not in the winter time, just throughout my whole entire lifetime, me playing basketball and spraining my ankles. Just like every time I sprained my finger, it was sports related, either football or basketball. Now on to how I broke my elbow. This crap hurt so dang much. Alright, so let me explain how this crap happened because it was crazy. Alright, so I used to have a friend named Khalid. We used to do backflips off the swing, and whoever used to do a flip the highest and land it, we used to win. I remember me going so high one time that I almost did 2 flips in the air, and I landed on my side. For some reason, I couldn't flex my arm all the way out. Every time I tried to, it would get stuck. And when I looked at my elbow was completely turned to the side, dude. I started panicking. Instantly, it hurt so dang much. My elbow swelled up so fast. I ran home. You know, I told my mom what happened. She panicked, then I started to panic. Then I went into shock. Everything felt like a dream. Then I went to the hospital. They told me I had a fractured elbow. They put a splint on me. What a splint is, it's like half a cast. It's hard, then it's soft. They put me on some medication. It was crazy, dude. They had to put my bone back in place. It was terrible. I remember them having to put me in a wheelchair because every time I was to take a step forward, my whole entire body would ache so badly because my elbow was so swollen, and it was Dude, honestly, that was one of the worst pains that I ever felt in my entire life. Now on to what most of you guys are here for, what you guys are reading on the title of this video. I know a lot of you guys want to know what my finger looks like, but before I show you guys what it looked like, let me tell you guys how this happened. It's crazy. This is probably one of the scariest days in my entire life. So I remember I just got a brand new green bicycle and everybody's outside driving their bikes around. For some reason, my chain kept popping, meaning it kept coming loose and I had to keep putting it back on the chain ring. If you guys don't know what a chain ring is, I'm going to show you guys right now. This is what a chain ring looks like. It's kind of spiky, and this is where you put your chain on. If it keeps coming off, you have to put the chain back on the chain ring, and you have to tighten up the little bolts in the back where the tire is. So I finally tightened up my chain, and you know, I'm back on the road. You know, I'm pedaling my bike down the street with my friends, and my friend Anthony is way ahead of me. We're both in the street, but for some reason, it felt like the chain was getting loose again. So, you know, I'll put my finger on the chain and I'll lift it up to see if it's loose. Something in my head said turn around. So when I turn around, there's a car right behind me. So I'm like, oh crap. So I pedal forward, and as I pedal forward, my finger is still on the chain. You know, I forgot to take it off for some reason. I wasn't thinking. So man, when I pedal forward, dude, my finger got stuck in the chain ring with the chain, okay? Luckily, I had one of those bikes that you can back pedal. You know how some bikes, it doesn't allow that. If you was to like back pedal, you'll, you know, stop yourself, like that's the brakes. But my bike, I was able to like back pedal all the way. So I back pedal my finger out, dude, and my finger felt like it was just stretched out. What I mean by stretched out, when it got stuck in the chain ring, it felt like my finger was getting pulled inside. So as I like reversed it out, it was blood all over the place, dude. My finger was turned in like a 90-degree angle. The entire tip of my finger was purple. My yellow shirt was all full of blood. I honestly thought I was gonna die. I was so dizzy. My knees got weak. It felt like I was about to faint. I don't know if it felt like I was just dying. My friend Anthony seen all the blood. He seen what happened. He wasn't sure what happened exactly, but he knew that something happened because I was bloody. So, you know, I ran home. My heart is beating so fast. I dropped my bike. I didn't care who was behind me. I didn't care about the cars. All I know is when I ran home, when I got in front of my door, my mom thought I got shot. They legit thought I got shot because there was blood everywhere. My shirt was full of blood. My pants were full of blood. I was losing so much blood that they legit thought I was dying. I thought I was dying. But I always knew that if you were bleeding out, put pressure on the wound or, you know, tighten it up or something. So I was putting so much pressure. I was holding my finger so tight so I wouldn't lose any blood. And when I finally got to the hospital, you know, I waited for like 2 minutes and I went to the bathroom, but one of the nurses came out and was like, we can't have you waiting because you're losing way too much blood and your face is pale, your lips are purple. So they sent me straight to the back, and the doctor said luckily that me putting pressure on my finger actually saved my finger. They were gonna amputate my finger, and it was so crazy, man. Luckily that I put pressure on that finger. You know, they finally stitched me up. I don't remember how many stitches I got, but they stitched me up, and not only did I cut my finger, I actually broke the tip of my finger. So they had to put a pin in the tip of my finger for like 2 months, and it felt disgusting, dude. Every time I was to hit the pin on the tip of my finger, it felt like, ew, dude. It felt like something was in it, but I can feel my bone move around. And I remember the day that they actually took the pin out of my finger. They grabbed pliers and they pulled the freaking crap out of the pin. It felt like my whole knuckle was getting ripped off, bro. And it actually left me with a pretty nasty scar. Not the pin, but the cuts. I remember them giving me like some finger cast. It was like a little mini finger cast. It kind of looked like a fake finger, but it wasn't. It was kind of funny looking. And every time I was to like catch a football or something, the tip of the football would hit the pin, and it felt disgusting. It would hurt so much. Honestly, I hated my life for like a couple months because it looked like I had a fake finger, and plus I already knew that the scar was pretty ugly looking. They said my nail was gonna fall off by itself. My nail fell off, and it was just terrible, man. I never want to experience anything like that again. I used to be so insecure on how my finger looked after it healed up fully. The person who gave me stitches, they were only a student. They were like a student doctor, so I'm not sure if they knew exactly what or how they were supposed to, you know, stitch me up. I don't know if I could have sued for it, but it's all over with, man. I've been lost my chance if I was able to sue, but this is what it looks like now, man. I used to be so insecure on how it looks, but you know, I've gotten over it, and yeah, I mean, it looks way better than it did when it was cut open, but as you can tell, it still kind of looks deformed or whatever. My fingers are kind of crooked because from playing sports a lot, you know, there's a lot of, you take a lot of damage when you play a lot of rough sports, but that's what my middle finger looks like. Once again, as you can see, the nail looks a little bit off. When I turn it over, you can see how it looks like it's missing a chunk of meat, I guess, whatever. But it's just the way that she sewed my finger back on, because basically my finger was hanging off. It was only on by a thread of skin. But that's it right there, man. That's my finger. I already took enough damage growing up. Hopefully, knock on wood, nothing else happens to me like this, because I've been through a lot. But yeah, man, that's pretty much the video, guys. If you guys want to know more stories about me or more about my past, I have a lot more to tell. Please leave a like on the video and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. My name is David Here Dave, and I am out. Peace.